Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 15 October 2020, Thursday night, 9 o'clock. A cool, breezy fall evening. Time to settle in for an hour or so and have a knife sale on the TheApostleP channel. And what a cool bunch we have this evening. 32 sale items for your consideration, 31 knives and a watch. Before we get to the inventory, a little bit of housekeeping. As always, I'm going to post the terms of the sale up on the screen for you in just a moment. You need to be familiar with and agreeable to those before you purchase a knife on this sale. I'm also going to reprint the terms in the description underneath this video so you can read them at your leisure. Above the terms in the description, you're going to find 3 links to previous videos on this channel. The first is to my primer for buyers video that gives you a 38-minute expanded explanation of the terms of the sale, how to navigate, how to maximize your buying experience on this weekly sales event. The second link is to my FAQs for Consignors video if you're interested in moving your collection along or some of it and you want to use this weekly sales event to do so. That gives you the particulars of how all that works. And then the third link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So you're going to have those 3 links, then the terms of the sale in the description. At the very bottom of the description, you're going to find the list of inventory complete with timestamps and pricing. Number to the left of the slash is your as shown price. Number to the right is your knife with an TheApostleP edge. And there will be 6 spots available for next day sharpening this week. So if you buy one of those first 6 knives to be sharpened, it will be done tomorrow with the as shown inventory and on its way to you. I think that's about it for the housekeeping. Time to get the terms up on the screen. We'll be right back with the sale. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we've got 5 leftovers from last week, and we're going to get through these, and prices are going to be extremely aggressive on these this week, guys. So if you were patient and you were looking at one of these, tonight is your night. First up, making its final appearance, and this will be its last and final price. I rarely run a knife 3 weeks in a row, but because all these leftovers are from the same consignor, and the other 4 have just been up for 1 week, I thought, we'll throw this one back in too. From Lile Knives, I believe in Arkansas. Yeah, Russellville, Arkansas. A Jimmy Lile design in D2 steel with a superbly ergonomic handle. This is the Lile L1 Hunter. There is the maker's mark with the dot, which does indicate, and I misspoke on this one, this is after Jimmy Lile's death. So still a Jimmy design with that super large hollow grind. 1/8 inch stock and a gracefully tapered tang. 3 3/8 inches of blade length. Very dark maroon linen micarta, brass hardware. Just a superb knife in the hand. Other than Robert Waldorf Loveless, I'm not sure anybody's ever made a handle, especially one with finger grooves, as comfortable as this one. Comes in a superb ambidextrous sheath. And the condition on this is going to be near mint with sheath, no box on this one. We started this off at $400 2 weeks ago. Knocked it down to $350 on Saturday. Ran it last week for $320. Bumped it down to $2.90 on Saturday. This week, this is going to be your last and final price. So if this one's around on Saturday, it will not have a price reduction. But man, it shouldn't for this price. $250, guys. $250, then $270 with an Apostle P edge. That is the Lile L1 Hunter. Next up, I'm kind of surprised this one made it through last week. This is a diminutive offering from Randall Made Knives, Orlando, Florida. It is the number 10 Salt Fisherman utility. Comes in a standard Randall Made sheath. And this one I think kind of interesting because it is a convex ground knife in that 440 Randall stainless. It's kind of a 440C, but Randall Made has a kind of a proprietary heat treat recipe. Gorgeous swedge, beautiful convex grind. Blade length is 3 1/16. Handle is 2 15/16. It kind of begs you to come forward under the ricasso there. There is your Randall maker's mark. Handle material, I believe, is black linen. Brass hardware. Condition is near mint with sheath, no box. Now, as with most Randall Made knives, you can order one of these for not very much money. But you wait 6 or 7 years to get it. So these are $275 if you order one, but you can't get it, by next Monday or Tuesday. We started this off last week at $375, got no takers, bumped it down to $340 on Saturday. It's still here, so this week $320 for the Randall Made number 10 Salt Fisherman utility. Then if you want my edge on it, $340. That can be done tomorrow on Friday if it's one of the first 6. Next up, this is an interesting knife. First, we're going to talk about the sheath system. The knife is the Airkat Apache, designed and produced by Dwayne Carrillo. This leather sheath has a lot of stuff hanging off of it. Let's kind of work our way down. In the top pouch is a sharpening stone with a carbide hone. Let's see what else we got here. In this pouch, we have a compass that screws in very securely. Over here on the side, we have a medium Spyderco sharp maker rod. Couple attachments for fire steels if you so desire. Old style blued steel molly clips. Inside all that resides this knife. This is the Airkat Apache with the Tonto blade 5 1/4 inches in length with a 5 1/2 inch handle with 3D Machine G10. An actual, real, functioning, proper sawback with ground offsets in those teeth. 154 cm is your blade steel. I found one of these that sold recently on Arizona Custom Knives for $13.50, and this is near mint to like new with the sheath system. We ran this one last week at $1,300, got no takers, knocked it down to $1,200 on Saturday. This week, and this will be the last price you see for this knife, guys, $10.95, $1,095 like it is, and then $11.30 if you like an Apostle P edge on it. That can be done by tomorrow. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first 6. About 3 weeks if it's not. That is the Airkat Apache from Dwayne Carrillo. Next up, I was very surprised this knife didn't sell last week. This is from DoStar, which I think is an Israeli knife company. And this is their Israeli combat knife. Comes in a rather nondescript nylon sheath with a plastic insert, Velcro closure. And here's the knife. Look at that gorgeous clip point. It's kind of like a, I don't know, a huge K-bar, a small Trailmaster. Has an FRN handle, secured with pins, big brass crossguard, D2 blade, 7 inches in length, bead blast finish with a saber grind and a swedge. The handle is 4 3/4 in length. Really, really nice in hand. 218 thousandths or 7/32 stock. Big, heavy field knife. These are $207 on Amazon right now. And this one is in near mint condition with no box, but does have the sheath. We ran it last week for $150, got no takers. Dropped it down to $130 on Saturday. Still here. Somebody gets a deal. $110 on the Dustar Israeli combat knife. $140 with an ApostleP edge. That can be done next day if it's one of the first 6. Next up, this might have been the most special knife in last week's sale. It's a long white sleeve, and on the long white sleeve, you guys are going to recognize that model name, I bet you. 960 Osborne, number 56 out of 500, a limited edition. This is kind of a pre-gold class knife. So probably made around the turn of the millennium. And inside the sleeve comes the tin with a hinged lid. Inside the tin comes the knife, and what a thing of beauty this is. That is the 960 Osborne, and I believe the construction is steel liners with titanium scales. That's what it looks like to me. It feels just a little too light to be all steel to me. But I really couldn't find any data on this. And look at those pearl inlays, would ya? Oh my goodness. Got your polished split arrow clip. And then out of that beautiful handle jumps a 3 1/8 inch spear point blade. And there's your limited edition etch. I think you can see that. 154 cm, gorgeous. Not quite a free dropper, and I bet you that's on Nylotron. I don't know. Can't really see in there. It feels very hydraulic-y. So this is probably a pre-phosphor bronze knife. Lockup is rock solid. Blade centering is right down the middle. And this is a hafted knife. I think the 960s in production were milled aluminum halves. And you can see the handwork that was done on this knife. You got that purple titanium backspacer. Super, super cool. We ran this last week at $695, got no takers. Dropped it to $650 on Saturday this week. And I think this is going to be a last and final price, guys. $620. I'm going to bring that up close so you can get a good look at it. Near mint to like new with tin. So $620 like it is. $640 with an ApostleP edge. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first 6. It's the Benchmade 960 gold class in quotes. Okay, time to get to the fresh stuff. First up, we're going to do a little run of traditional slip joint pocket knives. The first one is from Great Eastern Cutlery, their Northfield unexcelled line of premium pocket knives. It is model 861219, the oil field jack. This one in tortoise shell acrylic, and it's going to come with a slip. A slip for your slippy. Here's the knife. 1095 steel, 3 7/8 inches of closed length. Big, heavy spring on that main blade. Thick stock on the blades. We have a clip point main, and this does have a little bit of patina. Pull is about a 7.5. Perfect walk and talk. Secondary sheep's foot. Doesn't seem to have any patina on the secondary. Perfect walk on and talk on that one also. Blades are right down the middle. The cloud shield, the double line bolster, plain end cap. Beautiful example. We're going to call this near mint in tube with slip. Your price, $100. $100 like it is, $125 with Apostle P edges on both blades. That's the GEC Northfield number 86 oil field jack. Next up, this is kind of special. It's a big long tube from GEC. It's a Northfield premium pocket knife. Model number 976119 in African Blackwood. So yeah, it's a 97 Allegheny, but you'll notice this one has that big GIMP shield. So yeah, this version of the 97 is the brainchild of Charlie Campagna of Waynorth Knives. Look at that sabered round clip point with the long pull, the cut swedge, and then that forward nail neck. And this one, I think you can see it, is wearing an edge already from the Apostle P Knife Service. One thing I think kind of interesting about this particular 97, got a stronger pull, 6.5, maybe 7. Walk and talk are beautiful. Centering is right down the middle. We're going to say this is near mint in tube. Just some slight carry wear shown on the polished surfaces. Your price on this one, $230. No need to sharpen. Already has my edge on it. Next up, this is cool for a very interesting reason. So it is a Great Eastern Cutlery Northfield knife, but it is that Yellow Rose Classic Pocket Knives line. And guys, I'm not sure whether that's a collector's club in Texas or whether that's something that GEC does. Always cowbone on the Yellow Rose models, and this one's in yellow. Look at the model number. Okay, this is interesting. Look at the model number, 7 digits. Here's sort of the normal deal. If it's a 97 with a full flat ground blade, it's this model number. 971119. If it has the saber ground clip, it's blade style 6, 976119. But look at the Yellow Rose tube. They put the 6 in for the saber ground blade, but they didn't take out the 1, so it's a mismarked model number. It should be the same model number as the Waynorth, but it's not. It's got an extra 1 in there. That could be significant later, I'm just saying. Here's the knife. Beautiful, smooth yellow cowbone, the rose floret shield, the big Barlow style lined bolster. There is your saber ground clip with long pull cut swedge forward nail neck and the Yellow Rose etch. Pull weight about a 6.5 on this one. Of course, 4 3/4 inches of closed length. Beautiful walk and talk. Centering right down the middle. This one has been used and sharpened, so you're going to see an evidence of a sharpened edge, and there might be some little scuffs up into that polish, but pretty normal stuff. Your price on this one, $110. $110 like it is, $130 with an Apostle P edge, next day sharpening available if it's one of the first 6. Next up, here's a cool little knife, and it's not from GEC. So this is a case knife, and it's going to come in a sleeve and a hinged box. This is one of the production Tony Bose designs. It is the TBEX 1028SS teardrop jack in orange giraffe bone. I don't know why orange, because it's really not very. Comes with a special card for the giraffe bone. And look at the knife. True sharp steel, 3 9/16 inches of closed length. No shield, but the double X stamp in the bolster. Look at that giraffe bone, guys. Oh my. Nickel silver hardware brass liners, and then you got that Bose design Zulu spear. 6 pull. Perfect walk and talk, centering right down the middle. Condition's going to be near mint to like new in box. Your price, $150, $150 for the Case Bose Teardrop Jack. $165 if you'd like it with an ApostleP edge. Next day sharpening is available if it's one of the first 6. Next up, this is a cool knife. I've never seen one of these. It is from WRK & Sons. It is the model number 6154AC-SS. So it's a trapper lock, as the description indicates. So trapper locks generally have a thumb stud. They have a liner lock. This one is wearing a pocket clip and... what? Yep, it's a spring-assisted knife. I need to wipe that blade. I have not seen one of these in person. Pretty cool stuff. Saber ground muskrat clip. And they didn't do bad on this. Side play is nil. There's, as most slip joints made to liner locks, there's just a slight hint of vertical play, just the way the liner mechanisms are done. I'm not sure, can you see? Yeah, there you go. You can see through the back. Watch that torsion bar rise back up when you close it, and then it kicks it out. Feels like there's some nylon washers in there. Pretty cool. Caribbean blue saw cut bone is your cover material. This one is near mint to like new in the box. Very nice knife. Your price on this one, $100, $100 like it is. $115 with an ApostleP edge next day sharpening available if you're one of the first 6. Next up, and this is one you're going to need to keep straight, guys. This knife is going to be in your inventory as GEC Tidioute number 97 Allegheny number 1, because we have twins in this knife. Model number is 971119er in maroon linen micarta. Comes with the Allegheny button. And here's the knife. So the Tidioute Allegheny is going to be plain bolster and end cap. Full flat ground blade. Now this knife has been sharpened by its owner and it's been flitzed, I think, to remove some patina. The edge is a really nice utility. It's a utility finish on the secondary bevel, and then it's got a bit of a polished apex. So 4 3/4 in length, Coke bottle handle, beautiful walk and talk, about a 6.5 pull. Beautiful centering. Man, that's got a nice walk and talk. So yeah. We'll call it excellent to near mint, in tube with button. Your price, $95, $95 like it is, $115 if you'd like my edge on it. Probably doesn't need sharpened though. That is GEC Tidioute number 97 Allegheny number 1. Next up, we have a Kershaw box with a knife, not a Kershaw inside. This is the Mcusta. The Mcusta Tsuchi Bushi sword. That's Tsuchi Bushi sword. A very classic Mcusta pattern with a mill pattern in that green aluminum handle to emulate the cord wrap on a Japanese sword. You get the hard anodized green aluminum, steel liners, standoffs. A VG10 cord Damascus steel blade with some kind of faux hammer marks that look really cool. The blade on the Bushi sword is 3 3/8 inches long. The handle 4 5/16. Going to be tipped down right hand carry. Very sweet blade action. Kind of a softer detent, but you don't really need much of a detent, at least on opening on this knife. Beautiful. Lockup's rock solid. Centering is very close to perfect, if not perfect. Condition is near mint. Wrong box. If you buy one of these brand new from your favorite web retailer online, you're going to pay $120-ish. This one can be yours in near mint to like new condition for $85 shipped, priority mail, and then $105 if you'd like it with an TheApostleP edge. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first 6 tonight, about 3 weeks if it's not. Next up, from Viper Knives, Tecnocut product line, their modern folder line. We have an Anso Orsa. Now, we sold one of these just last week, I think. That was a titanium scaled version. It was a lot more money than this one. So the Orsa has a 4 1/4 inch handle, a blade, 3 1/4 inches long, almost a trailing point out of Bowler M390 with a gorgeous stonewash. Blade length is 3 7/16. I'm sorry, did I say 4 1/4? The handle is 4 3/4 on this one. Milled G10. It is a stainless steel liner lock, ball bearing flipper, blue titanium pivot collar, blue titanium pocket clip, and back spacer. Lockup is rock solid, flipping action's perfect, and centering is as well. I'm calling this near mint in box. It appears that the blade might have been touched up. Probably could still benefit from an TheApostleP edge. Web price on this knife, if you buy one new at your favorite online retailer, is going to be $180. This one can be yours for $130, $130, and then $155 with my edge on it. Just so you know, the titanium scaled version last week sold for $160. So, with really no functional difference, you can save yourself $30 on this one. So $130 like it is, $155 sharpened on the Viper, Tecnocut, and Anso Orsa. Next up, from Bark River Knives, Escanaba, Michigan, USA, we have a Gunny Hunter, and the box label says turquoise burlap with yellow liners and brass hardware. It's a beauty. And frankly, guys, this must be an older Gunny, because I don't remember seeing this sheath on a Gunny of any kind, but it's kind of cool. It's almost that Jenna Martin design, or maybe it was a Bark River design that Jenna Martin co-opted, but I love the way the flap protects the handle from the snap. I believe that thing's totally ambidextrous. Very cool. I like that sheath. And here is the knife, Gunny Hunter. Kind of a high saber convex, almost standard Gunny height. A2 steel. And there's that turquoise burlap that just pops with those yellow liners and your brass hardware. Very little, almost no edge wear. We're going to definitely call this one near mint. This knife would have sold for about 200 bucks in web retail when it was new with a $289 MSRP. This one can be yours. Super nice example of a gunny hunter. 170, 170, and then 190 with an Apostle P edge. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first 6. Next up, our first and only offering this week from We Knife. Yes, sirree. And we have a We 809 Charlie Practic, which is a really, really cool knife. G10 handle scales. Blue anodized hardware. Those liners in that bright blue, that's stainless, guys, not titanium. The clip is anodized titanium. Out of that gorgeous little handle, 4 1/4 inches in length, flies. A super functional drop point utility with a high, large hollow grind in M390. The blade's 3 1/4. There's your lock engagement. It's rock solid. It is a ball bearing flipper. Perfectly centered. Awesome flipping action. That hollow grind makes the blade light. Beautiful, beautiful knife. Let's see. These sell new at web retailers for $146. This one can be yours near mint in box. $110, $110, and then $135 with an Apostle P edge. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first 6. Next up, make sure you're on the right knife. We have a duplicate. This from Great Eastern Cutlery, the handcrafted Tidioute cutlery product line, model 971119, Allegheny and maroon linen micarta. This will be in your inventory as GEC Tidioute number 97 Allegheny number 2, and frankly, there's not much difference in the knives, guys. Plain large nickel silver bolsters, hot dog shield, plain end cap, full flat ground, clip point blade, long pull, cut swedge. This one has also been flitzed. You can still barely see the PPP etch in this one. Six and a half to 7 on the pull weight for this knife. It might have been touched up. Walk and talk is awesome. Centering is right down the middle. As you can see, very little carry wear. A little bit of scuffing, superficial on the end cap there. Your price on this one, near mint in tube, 90 bucks, 110 with an Apostle P edge. That's the GEC Tidioute number 97 Allegheny number 2. Next up, how about an American-made buck knife tonight? How about that? Look at that. That's model number, wow, 0342 BKS1-B. It is a small Vantage Pro. Kind of a neat little tiny knife. So the small Vantage Pro has a 3 5/8 inch handle, stainless steel liner lock, milled crowned G10 scales, that beautiful buck anvil shield, the reversible deep carry, kind of a shorty pocket clip. It is a flipper on washers. It flips very nicely though. Rock solid lockup, albeit kind of late, but not alarmingly late. Centering is beautiful. That S30V blade is, what did we say, 2 9/16 inches in length. Beautiful satin on the drop point blade. The Paul Boss heat treat maker's mark. Condition is near mint in box. Buy one of these brand new at your favorite online retailer. It'll be $70 or so. This one can be yours for $40. $60 with an Apostle P edge. That is the Buck Vantage Pro Small. Next up, from Kaiser, we have their Beg Lighter A4. It's a pretty interesting kind of budget knife, I think. Rather handsome, wouldn't you say? A deeply textured brown G10, blue pivot collar. I think that's a reversible clip. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Is it? Let's see. I believe it is. Yep, the whole pattern looks like, yeah, it'll go over. So pretty standard stainless steel liner lock. Thumb stud deployment, nice detat. 3.5-inch blade of VG10, nicely stonewashed. The handle's 4 5/8. Feels like it's on washers. Phosphor bronze, I believe. There's your lockup. It's rock solid. Centering's perfect. You've seen the action. It rocks. Near mint in box will be your condition on this one. You buy one of these brand new, it's going to cost you $59 plus some shipping at your favorite web retailer. Or just buy this one, $45 shipped priority mail. I'm saying no need to sharpen. Why did I say that? Well, I think it's got an owner applied polished edge on it. Yeah, it does. You don't need me on this one, guys. So $45 with a better than factory edge, near mint in box condition on the Kaiser Beg Lighter. Next up, it is time to go bold. Inside that big box is a diminutive knife, the rather famous ZT0450 CF Sinkovich. A much beloved little knife, and this is a nice one. Got your carbon fiber scale, you got your black DLC coated frame and blade, reversible clip, ball bearing flipper, beautiful swedged drop point, and S35. There is your lock engagement with that steel inserted lock face. It's rock solid. Centering is perfect. Flipping action is perfect. That's a nice example, guys. My seller says it's used, but it's hard to tell. Near mint in box. Map pricing, universal on the web from your favorite retailer is going to be $196, or just buy this one. $130 shipped priority mail. $150 with an Apostle P edge. That's a ZT0450 CF. Turn the page, turn the page. Next up, Spidey heads, get ready. We got something for you. First up, I think this was a Sprint Run Pair 3 in that sort of herringbone or twill milled forest green G10. Polished clip, and I think you know what that handle means. CPM S45 VN is your blade steel. We got a free dropper. Rock solid lockup. Blade centering is very near perfect, if not perfect. Condition near mint in the box. I think this price is kind of a steal, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm sure you will. 170, like it is, 195 with an Apostle P edge, and next day sharpening is available if it's one of the first 6. That's the Spyderco Pair 3 GRN S45. Next up, these aren't going to be around forever, guys. It's a Spyderco, and inside comes a military. Not just any military. It is a murdered military. Black G10, black hardware, black blade. This is wearing a Cerakoted titanium Lynch deep carry clip, the original PVD coated clip is in the box and it seems to be unmarked. Out of that handle flies 4 inches of awesome S30V blade, black coated. How's the lockup? Right in the middle. Pretty clean. A little kind of early actually. It's rock solid. How's the centering on that big long blade? Well, I don't know. How about perfect? It's really it's good. It's hard to get the aspect right, but it's perfect. Action's perfect. Lockup's perfect. Centering's perfect. Condition is very near mint. Just so you know, these knives have crept up there as they prepare to discontinue the military. They're out of stock in the murdered configuration at $206 online price, plus $23 for the Lynch clip. So what is that? $229 if you bought this knife new, if you even could. This one can be yours. $140 like it is, $160 with an ApostleP edge. That is in your inventory as Spyderco Military Murdered. Next up, man, if somebody wants a user Para 2 in a super tool steel and doesn't care what it looks like, here you go. It's from Spyderco. It is a Paramilitary 2 Sprint in K390, and I'm calling this OD green. I don't know what they officially called it. And you can see, guys, the handle's got some bumps, it's got some pocket wear, the blade, it's got some patina. K390 is not a rust-free steel. It is a very high carbon tool steel. It's been used, it's been sharpened, it's got a serviceable utility edge on it, but lockup is rock solid. Action is super fine. Centering is running right down the middle. This would be a fun one to play with, and you can cut all day. We're going to call it excellent in box, patina noted, action beautiful. It's in your inventory as Spyderco Para 2 GRN K390. Your price, $130. $130 like it is, $155 with an ApostleP edge. Next up, it was here and then it was gone. From Spyderco, we have a Police 4, also in K390. The largest police they've ever made. Black G10 handle. I think that knife's been carried around a little bit. There's your painted clip. The blade is 4 and 7/16 inches. This one is blued K390, and not a great bluing job, just so you know. It's been used, it's been sharpened, it's got a nice toothy user applied edge on it. Rock solid lockup, free drop in action, beautiful centering. This is another one, guys. It's a user, right? It is a user. So the Police 4 is a discontinued knife. I don't know if there are any left around, but this one can be yours. Man, what a great glove box of the pickup truck knife this would be. Not going to get any rust on that blade. It's already been blued. You could blue it again if you want. I think you might be able to do something with that knife. I think you could. Your price, $120 like it is. $145 if you'd like my edge on it. That is the Spyderco Police 4. Next up, it's our last Spidey in tonight's sale. Look at that box. It looks pristine. Inside it is a Zome Endura with Halloween handle and a HAP 40 blade. What? Yes, that black and orange color is in the mold. How cool is this? And then you've got that blade of HAP 40 tool steel laminated between two pieces of, what is that, SUS 410? Lockup, rock solid. Action, drops free. Centering is beautiful. Might favor the right as you're looking at it just a bit. Let's see. I think this has got a user edge on it, and it is a pretty serviceable toothy edge, just so you know. Hap 40 is a wondrous tool steel. Super, super edge holding with way more than adequate toughness. I can't believe these are still in stock anywhere. I don't know. Anyhow, your price, $90. $90 like it is. $115 if you'd like an Apostle P edge on it. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first 6, and it'll be at your door before Halloween. Next up, from Reate, comes the model K2 with the blue titanium handle and bronze inlaid diamonds. Now this does not come with the big padded pouch. It comes with an inner microfiber and the key fob Blade HQ. That's kind of neat. It does have the extra washers, bearings stuff inside the box, by the way. Here's the knife. What a piece of work. What a piece of work. Who designed that thing? Does it say? It doesn't give a designer. This just looks like David Ding to me. Look at that beauty. Crowned handle. Look at the gear pattern with the bronze anno underneath coming through. Look at the inlaid diamonds. Just gorgeous. 4 15/16 of handle. 3 7/8 inches of Tanto blade. S35VN. Look at the satins on that, would you? That's beautiful. Of course, titanium frame lock, steel lock bar insert, perfect lockup, perfect centering. Now, it does trend toward death lock, so when you flip it, you want to keep your fingers sort of high on the frame. But flipping action is beautiful. Condition is near mint to like new, no pouch as noted, right? This knife is out of stock everywhere. When it was in stock, it carried a web retail of $325. This one can be yours, and it's a super fine example. Price $270, $270, and $295 if you'd like it with an Apostle P edge on that Tanto blade. That can be done tomorrow if it's one of the first 6. That's the Reate K2. Next up, from our friends at Lion Steel, Maniago, Italy, we have an SR11A red satin. Yes, we do. My favorite of the SR series of knives. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Look at the milled pattern on that aluminum hard anodized red handle. Just beautiful. They use an aluminum handle to execute a frame lock knife with a hardened steel lock interface. The roto block, integral handle, reversible shorty deep carry pocket clip with carbide glass breaker, and it is a ball bearing flipper. So happy to see Lion Steel give up on the nylon washer method of suspending a blade in an integral handle. This works so much better. Centering on this one is very close to perfect. Flipping action and lockup are both stupendous. The blade is 3 5/8 inches of Sleipner steel. Beautiful satin. Gorgeous knife. It is near mint to like new in box. Web price on this one, if you buy a brand new one, is $191. This one can be yours shipped priority mail for $150, and then $175 if you'd like an Apostle P edge on it. Next day sharpening is available if it's one of the first 6. That's the Lion Steel SR11A. Next up, man, we get a bunch of these in. You guys pass them around like penny candy. From Benchmade, we have a 550-1 Griptilion. The -1 denotes the stunning satin finished G10 scales with the milled checkering, the raised clip boss, the blue liners, blue standoffs. This is wearing a deep carry polished clip from Benchmade. The original clip is in the box. The 550 designation means the sheep's foot blade, flat saber ground with the opening hole, 20 CV blade steel, of course. This one is near mint to like new in box with the extra clip, rock solid lockup. Very near free dropping action, close to perfect as you'd want it to be. Lockup is rock solid, and the blade centering is, I almost cut the end of my finger off. Blade centering is right down the middle. So, near mint to like new in box with the extra clip. What are these now, like $186, brand new, something like that? This one can be yours for $140 and then $165 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Benchmade 550-1 Griptilion. Next up, it's another Benchmade from the now extinct Hunt series. This is a 15031-2 North Fork folder. Super cool little utility hunter. Diamond wood scales, axis lock, lanyard loop in the liners. This also is wearing a deep carry polished clip. There is a Parkerized split arrow in the box. Those are two nice pieces of well-matched diamond wood right there. Blade on the North Fork is 2 15/16, a little slightly recurved S30V. The handle length is 3 7/8. I don't find most of these have super great action. This one, however, does. And it's got rock solid lockup, and it's got perfect centering. I like this knife if you are the type of a hunter who likes a small knife to work in the cavity of a deer, and you need an index point for your finger. Those forward jimping really does it. You know that the tip of that blade is a ½ inch in front of your fingertip. If you're there, that's just super. You're never going to cut your other hand working with that knife. Sorry about that. You might run into the camera, but you won't cut your hand. Love the North Fork. Condition on this one is near mint to like new in the box. These are out of stock everywhere at the original MAP price of $157. I found them at REI, and they've run them up to $160. Or just buy this one for $110. $130 with an ApostleP edge. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first 6. That's the Benchmade 15031-2 North Fork. Next up, time to get into some special stuff here. I know I had some guys on my search list that wanted this knife, and I can't find them. Somebody's going to want it. From Benchmade, it is the 707-1701 sequel. This was Benchmade's blade show knife for SHOT Show knife for 2017. Sunburst milled hard blue anodized aluminum scales. Parkerized split arrow clip. The gorgeous sequel blade, this time in S30V. Limited edition, what does that say? 476 of 1,000? There is extremely slight handle wear on this knife. Extremely slight. Now, when it came to me, it had some edge wear at the tip. There were some pretty good little chips in it. So my consignor paid me to sharpen it, but if I didn't tell you, I bet you wouldn't have noticed, because I tried to make this a faithful sharpening. So the secondary bevel is sharpened to 650 grit, and then it's got 1100 degree micro that's stropped just to 2.5. So it's still, it looks like a really nice Benchmade edge, but it's super sharp. Okay, so we're going to call this one, with beautiful centering, by the way, beautiful action, perfect lockup. We're going to call this near mint in box with a faithfully sharpened ApostleP edge. These knives, guys, are expensive. There's one completed listing on eBay for a like new in box knife that just sold for $400. That's a sold knife. This one can be yours for $300, shipped, priority mail, ready to rock. That's the Benchmade 707-1701 sequel with an ApostleP edge. Okay, time for the most special knife in the sale. I told you guys yesterday, get ready, lefties. Get ready, lefties. All right, so we have what's called a reissue box from Chris Reeve, and it'll tell us on the back. This is not the original box. This box was reissued by request and is the closest of our current stock to the original box. So actually would have been the same shape and size for this knife. Now we don't have the original box, but look what we do have. We have the original baggie with the 17-year sticker, the Blade Show Manufacturing Quality Award sticker. We've got a birth card. We have the warranty. We also have a birth card. Let's read it. Large Sebenza 2001 wood inlay with swedge. Oh, huh? Really? Steel is BG42 at 60 to 61. Handle is titanium with box elder inlay. Made September 25th, 2001. Where was the knife bought? Well, it was purchased at SHOT Show, and I don't know if you can read that, but it says Chris Reeve Knives. This was purchased by my consignor from the hand of one Chris Reeve. And when we sold it to him, he was boxing it up, and he saw this, the swedge, and he said, "Oh, we don't do that very often." And if you notice, it's evident that that's a hand procedure. I'll see if I can get the light to reflect. There is a little spot of no cleanup at the very peak of that swedge. There it is. Anyhow, you have the old bullnose regular Sebenza blade. This one polished, so satin finished after the stonewash, so it's going to be a little thinner than your standard Sebenza blade. The gold hardware, that's gold anodized titanium. This is the knife, if you guys watched my Sebenza 31 video, this is the knife I showed for the inlay shape. Look at that. Polished frame, scalloped finger groove. There's a little bit of honest carry wear on this knife, but it's just been to Chris Reeve for sharpening and spa. So they would have just taken it apart, lubed it, put it back together, and sharpened it. It's got a decent Chris Reeve edge on it, but we know it could be better. There is your lockup. It's probably not a free dropper. Almost. The centering's perfect. I don't know if you can see it through all the stuff, but it is. It's eminently flickable. I didn't quite pull the trigger. There we go. So yeah. It's not mint. You could throw it in your pocket and use it, and it does come with the leather slip. One Allen wrench in the box. So all that. By the way, did you see the price 20 years ago, 19 years ago? It was $575. Your price, guys, $475. $595 with an ApostleP edge. It is left-handed, in case I forgot to mention it. Left-handed. So let's put everything back in its little home. I don't think there's a cloth. I need some tissue paper. Yeah, just some tissue paper. Wow. Wow. Oh, did I mention this is my save me from myself moment? Somebody please buy this, please. Or I'm going to own it, and it was not in my budget plan. Next up, here's a brand I am not familiar with. Shank Knives. This is one of their Wind River models. It's the Tier 1. It comes in this really cool hinged lid wooden box. I see some Idaho influence. I see some lineage. Chris Reeves Spartan blades. I'll show you a little bit about why. I don't know. I have no idea about the story, but here it is. It's the Wind River Tier 1 from Shank. 3 and an 1/8 inch blade of Elmax. 4 and 7/16 inches of titanium handle. Got a satin finished titanium clip with a ceramic ball insert. A satin finished titanium backspacer. Over travel stop or lock bar stabilizer. Ball bearing flipper. Cool recurve drop point. Satin finished. 3 and 1/8 inches of Elmax. But look at the lock interface. I hope the camera picks this up. That is a corner-mounted large ceramic ball, just like a Sebenza 31 or an Omnumzana or an Inkosi. The detent works fabulously. It's firm, but it doesn't deathlock. Beautiful lock engagement, rock solid. Perfect centering. Very cool knife. These are out of stock everywhere. They were $3.99 web pricing when they were available. They're gone. This is near mint to like new in box. Your price $350, $350. $375 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Shank Wind River Tier 1. That brings us to the last piece in tonight's sale, and it's not a knife. It is a Citizen ProMaster watch. Comes in their Pelican-like case. Original paperwork and all factory links are in the box. It comes with the hang tag that I'm going to show you. The model number is the BN0211-50E. MSRP is $495. It is the Citizen Tough. Citizen ProMaster Tough. What we got here is a really cool EcoDrive Quartz sports watch. That case and bracelet are all 316L stainless steel. And then there is a super hard, smoky clear coating over all that. I think it's 3 microns. And it gives it almost a titanium-ish appearance. Everything on the watch is satin. The case is a monocoque design, so no case back. Everything loads through the top. It's 42 millimeters in diameter. You have a nice stepped black inky dial. It is an EcoDrive light-powered quartz movement. Screw-down crown that is signed with the ProMaster logo, as is the dial above the EcoDrive. 200 meters of water resist. A sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. It's just gorgeous. Now guys, I'm going to take off my G-Shock. I got this watch in a month ago. And as you can see, after a month, it's not quite 2 seconds ahead. I did set the date incorrectly. I think it's 12 hours off. Is it flipped over yet? Anyway. Standard setting, guys. Quick set date. You know how that works. This is a handsome devil, I'm telling you what. It's a high line EcoDrive movement. I would point out that the second sand does not hit every tick. all the time, but I only have one watch that does, and that's the Longines or the Conquest VHP. But very handsome, very rugged. Do anything with this watch. Absolutely an everyday piece for any lifestyle. These right now, MSRP is $495. They generally street for about $350. Joma Shop has at least a similar model right now for $279. This one is near mint, probably like new in box. All links included. It's sized right now, but $200, guys. $200 on the Citizen ProMaster Tough. Very nice piece. And that brings us to the end of another weekly knife sale on the Apostle P channel. Thanks for hanging out with me. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Have at her, boys.